Glasgow for our last show. Yes, tonight, the last in the series of Long Hop Down Under, a captain's special to finish us off. On tonight's show, we're joined in the studio by former Scotland captains Dougie Lockhart and Gordon Drummond. We speak to former Clydesdale and Australia bowler Ben Laughlin. We discuss the fallout from Majid Haq's suspension and hear an exclusive interview with Grant Bradburn and Pollock Cricket Club from the Cricket World Cup of Scotland's leading wicket taker and most capped player, Majid Haq. Having been dropped from the team to face Sri Lanka in the last match, Haq took to Twitter to voice his displeasure and seemed to suggest that the reason for being dropped was one of race. After a meeting of management, he was suspended from the squad for a breach of Cricket Scotland's Code of Conduct and sent home. He arrived back in Glasgow Airport yesterday, but declined to comment.
Difficult one to deal with for you as a head coach?
No, not difficult really. It became obvious what we needed to do, and you know, it's not the situation that we'd like to have to deal with, particularly what is an exciting opportunity to play Australia on Saturday.
Was that part of the reasoning behind, I suppose, you distancing yourself from those kind of decisions? It's one that's corporate rather than a playing issue?
Oh look, you know, I had the cricket conversations with Majid, as I do with all of the players. You know, as a coach, you get used to having hard conversations with players. You know, we have hard conversations daily, and that's my job to have those clear conversations with players. Particularly, that would be an issue for me. I expect them to be disappointed not to be playing, but you know, unfortunately, Madge has chosen a way to react, which has contravened the values of. I'm so impressed with the whole group. You know, it's been one of the real pleasing aspects, I think, of this tournament. You know, you can say it's a tough tournament, but not really. You know, it's such a great golden opportunity for everyone, and above all, you know, the players have dusted themselves off after each game. We've had some agonising, pressure situations on the field. We've been agonisingly close to victory. We haven't quite earned a W as we would like at this point. But every day has been a learning day. Every day has been an opportunity to just look at that day in isolation, and that's something that we set out to do right at the start of this campaign. Let's take it one day at a time, and let's just look to be better people, better players for every experience we're gathering. And I've been so impressed with the way the leadership group, particularly the captain, has handled himself and Sri Lanka. But you know, despite the off-field disturbances or distractions, I guess, that were going on, it didn't take away from the other players. You know, absolutely looking forward to an opportunity to play a top-tier nation such as Sri Lanka.
Well, to give us your view on this issue or anything else in tonight's programme, you can tweet us at QTV_sports. The hashtag is #FollowScotland. Joining us in the studio to talk about Majid Haq is our own Mike Stanger, who's been following this story for the last few days and has known Majid for a good number of years. And I suppose that's the easiest place to start, Mike. You've known Majid since he was a boy. What kind of character is he?
Well, man and boy, I've coached Majid, I've managed Majid, and sometimes I've probably mismanaged Majid. But the thing that shines out, the main characteristic that Majid Haq has, is of complete and utter passion for the game of cricket. And the result of that is he hates being missed out of any team.
All the time, and not all of them do this. The inclusion of race in this particular occasion is the thing that's tipped us from a national news story into an international news story. I've heard it described as, on one hand, naive, irresponsible, but all the way through to reprehensible. Where do you think it falls in the spectrum?
Well, it's quite clearly naive, and I was a little bit surprised by that, because Majid is now...
That we're seeing of social media, Majid is not the first person to make this mistake in any walk of life.
Well, my view of social media is fairly warped, I know, but I think Twitter in particular is very dangerous, because a lot of people tend to use it as a private diary. It's not private at all, it's a megaphone diary. and everybody can hear you.
Cricket Scotland's response was swift, it was unequivocal. Do you think it was correct?
I'm very impressed with what Grant Bradburn said there. It was not confrontational, it was almost trying to... Procedural, yes, so it was confined to that, which is good.
What do you see happening next? Presumably some sort of internal investigation?
Well, that will have to go on, but I was interested that Cricket Scotland allowed Preston Monson to be interviewed today, and Preston was making very conciliatory noises about it.
He seemed to suggest there was a way back for Majid, that he would learn from this mistake and that there would be a route back for him. Do you see that as realistic?
Well, it's a matter of opinion. I don't want to speculate anymore because I wasn't there and I don't know the full circumstances, but the process has got to be completed and we'll see what happens.
It's going to take a lot of forgiveness from the dressing room, though.
A lot of forgiveness from a lot of people.
Yeah. Do you think it'll have an effect, just turning our attention to tonight's match, do you think it'll have an effect on the team?
I don't think it will at all. I think their focus will be entirely on the match, and let's hope they spring a surprise.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much for joining us. Time to move on. The sixth and final guest in our series, Home. Ben, thanks very much for joining us on the show today. If you could start by just giving us your recollections of playing here in Scotland.
Playing in Scotland was a lot of fun back in my younger days. So, first time I came over, I was at Fergusley, and we had a bit of a wet start to the summer. I think I missed 10 of the first 11 games. But when I was at Clydesdale, the weather was they were in the spot of bother there, and fought back really well. And gave a pretty good New Zealand team a really good run for the money.
And your own team, Australia, how have you assessed their performances up until now?
Yeah, we've been pretty good, I think. The game against New Zealand was a bit of a bully, but to play that badly and go down by only 1 wicket is a pretty good effort. But I definitely think we're a pretty good team at the moment, and should be a chance, yeah.
I think it's going to help Australia in the latter stages that New Zealand might actually be seen as one of the favourites now. Do you think it takes the pressure off them a bit?
I don't think so. I think anyone that's been watching cricket has seen New Zealand's played some really good cricket the last 12 months and knows that's a pretty good team. And if you've got Brendan McCullum in the form he's in, they can beat anyone on any day. So I don't think it takes any pressure off. There's still 25 million Aussies all on the back of the Australian team who are probably putting a bit of pressure on at the moment.
And tell us a bit about your own career playing for Australia. Fantastic to represent your country.
Yeah, it was a thrill. It's probably a few years ago now. Back in 2009, I got the privilege of playing a couple of one-days over in South Africa and in Dubai, which was great fun. And then I managed to play a couple of T20 games probably 2 years ago now. So, awesome thrill. And yeah, probably something that wouldn't have happened if I didn't spend my time over in Clydesdale and over in Scotland learning my ropes.
Well, I hope if you're over in Europe, you'll pop into Clydesdale and Fergusley and say hello. Have you got a message from the members over here?
Oh, I dare say there's probably a few still sitting at the bar. So, yeah, I'll be there. I'll have my vodka breezer or vodka cruiser, whatever they've got behind the bar, and probably cop a bit from the guys, which would be nice.
Great stuff. Thanks very much for joining us, Ben.
No worries. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, Ben Laughlin, all the way from Australia, and you can catch up with the extended version of that interview on the QTV Cricket YouTube channel. Time to meet tonight's guests, two former Scotland captains who between them have over 300 caps and 3,000 runs. Please welcome down the corridor of uncertainty for the last time in the series, Gordon Drummond and Dougie Lockhart. Start at the beginning with our guests, looking back on the last Scotland performance, in this case Sri Lanka. A game again that had lots to be positive about for Scotland, but ultimately ended in defeat. Gordon, let's start with you. What were your impressions of the game?
Well, I mean, you've got to look at Dilshan and Sangakkara, two of probably the best batters in the world, and I think they found it difficult to put pressure on these guys. Got an early wicket. But after that, it was very difficult and a bit of containing work needed done towards the end.
Sangakkara's demonstrated against just about every team in this World Cup that he can do it. That's his fourth consecutive ODI 100. It's sad actually that he's made the decision that this is going to be his last.
Yeah, no, and it's, I mean, well, probably not sad for the bowlers. They might be quite happy. But yeah, he's been phenomenal and showed his class throughout, and also showed that he can play in the different environments. I mean, a bit more challenging for these guys coming from Asia to play in places like Australia, and I think he's just showing how good a batter he is.
Dougie, what went right for Scotland? What was impressive about Scotland against Sri Lanka?
I think on the bowling side, I think they pulled it back well. I think after 35 overs, they were probably looking at maybe having to chase over 400. So bowled well at death, which they have done in a number of games over the tournament. They've consistently picked up wickets in those last 15 overs when teams have been looking to accelerate. So I think apart from maybe one big over from Matthews, they could have even kept it to slightly less than it was. And then in the batting front, I thought the partnership between Preston and Freddie Coleman was outstanding. And
it's not something we've seen a lot of from Scotland is partnership building, and that was arguably the best start that the team had made.
I think it's certainly been a common trend probably throughout the tournament, is that guys have been getting good starts, 20s, 30s. There's been 50, 60, 70 run partnerships, but we haven't consistently got the big partnerships, which is what gets you the big totals. So Preston and Freddie got us in a really good position to kick on. And I guess just slightly disappointing that sort of tailed off towards the end.
50 odd runs for 7 wickets at the end, which was disappointing.
It's worth. You probably would prefer to be batting up the order a bit more, but bowling wise, to be second top wicket taker in the tournament is a phenomenal achievement, and I think probably wouldn't have been predicted at the start, but taking wickets is very, very important, as we know, throughout the innings, and he's shown he's got value in terms of his bowling, taking wickets at the right times. He's obviously picked up a few to death, which has helped him, but it's a great achievement by the young lad.
Well, more from Dougie and from Gordon in a short while, but regular viewers of the Long Hop will know that for the last 5 weeks, our crew has had exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the Scotland camp. They've produced a lot of great content for Cricket Scotland TV, BBC, ST, our crew, and also thank the contributors to that crowdfunding effort that have made all of this possible. Let's now take a look back over the last 5 weeks at some of the highlights in the Scotland camp.
This day's finally arrived. I mean, we've been eagerly anticipating this day for a long time.
Great opportunity for them to perform and show folk how good they are.
This is Baldwin Street. It's in the Guinness Book of Records.
Visiting someone else's country.
Great experience for the entire squad, and Dougie, you've got your own World Cup experience, that dynamic as it was.
Thanks for reminding me of that, Jack.
But these are great experiences for young men. And
no, absolutely. The opportunity to go away and travel the world playing in these venues is fantastic, and we've got it's quite a young squad for a lot of these guys. This is their first major tournament. Compared to the Irish, where they've got guys who've played 2 or 3 World Cups now, so the experiences that the guys will have learned from this tournament, I think probably everybody will still be playing after this, and they'll only go from strength to strength.
Gordon, you've got your own experiences, not necessarily World Cup experiences, but plenty of experiences away with Scotland on tour. And some of them good, some of them bad. I suppose towards the tail end of your time playing was almost a transitional phase for the Scotland team, wasn't it?
Well, and a lot of the guys we hadn't experienced tours before, so they were still learning from that. Interesting to see a lot of things there, and they've tried to keep the people together and done a lot of bonding. Brought in the family members as well, which is very helpful and makes it feel a bit more like home away from home for them. Because it is a long time. I mean, they've been away 6 weeks now. Yeah, it's a long time.
Longer, in fact, I think, because the warm-up games as well. It must be almost 2 months.
So, and that's challenging in itself. So,
does it get lonely when you're away?
Yeah, well, no, I think sometimes there's probably a little cliques in there where guys just help each other out, and you identify if it's a bit challenging for some people, particularly the younger members who haven't experienced it before. But
John Blaine told us that he and Hoffy used to share a room. They would just sleep all day.
They were the best sleepers going. So,
seems like a fantastic waste of a
whenever we did a day off, you knew that they'd just be sleeping in the afternoon. So fast scores.
Give us your view, Gordon, if you will, on the tournament as a whole. Who or what has stood out for you away from Scotland?
I mean, it's been brilliant so far. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think like India playing at MCG, and there'll be 85,000 people there watching that game. I mean, that's just phenomenal for the sport. The close games between associates has been very good, showing what they can do, and I think everybody, neutral cricket fans have enjoyed that. And then also the tight game between Australia and New Zealand was just a great game of cricket with low scoring, which is very unusual within this World Cup.
That was one I was going to mention actually. That's my favourite of the tournament so far. But there have been some huge scores, Dougie, and it feels like the whole game, one-day international cricket, the format rather of the game has just moved on.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a few reasons for that. I think definitely the new fielding restrictions has had an impact. So moving from 5 outside of circle to only 4 definitely means that there's more boundaries hit in the middle overs than there perhaps was until a couple of years ago. And also, I think the two new white balls makes a difference, because previously, last 10 overs, the white balls used to get very soft, and now the balls are only 20 overs old going into the death, so that's why they're going further. And then finally, obviously, the advent of T20 cricket, so batsmen now can score 360 degrees, and guys like A.B. de Villiers, who scored that 160 off 60 balls, the range of shots that guys had has really expanded.
Yeah, it does say something actually for Scotland's death bowling, Gordon, that they've done well against England, against New Zealand, and against Sri Lanka, and actually taking wickets where other teams have been accelerating away in the last 10 overs.
Yeah, and I think they just stuck to clear plans, and that's as simple as you need to make it. I mean, I think predominantly they bowled a lot of Yorkers, which maybe other teams haven't used as much, and slower balls, and they've probably got more limited things, in terms of their skills. So
it's a case of using what you've got.
Get there and be as accurate as possible. And it's probably shown up a little bit in the start where they've lacked the penetration they would like. So they've had to claw it back, but they've done it very, very well.
Well, we'll see what approach they take tonight, and we'll turn our attention shortly towards the Australian match later on this evening. But now it's time for the second part of our exclusive interview with Grant Bradburn, in which he talks about the character that has developed in his squad over the last 5 weeks.
Particular highlights for you, Grant, I wonder, taking a team to a World Cup, and Scotland don't get to them very often, so I wonder what your particular highlights would be.
Every day is a highlight for me. I think it's such a great experience, and we're banking away some valuable experiences for everyone, staff included, but most of all the players. And I think the highlights are yet to come. I think the growth from this experience we would expect to see in the coming months. And we've got such exciting opportunities in front of us. Firstly, the T20 qualifiers in our own country in June, July, and I would expect that from these experiences at the World Cup, good and bad, our players and staff will only grow from those. So, there's been so many highlights, really, so many highlights. But I think just seeing the learning and just really seeing our players under pressure, well, the whole group really under pressure, under fatigue, and seeing the reaction from that, and by and large that reaction has been what has revealed is some strong characters have been revealed. And I've always said to our team, and I'm a believer, that character doesn't necessarily grow under fatigue and pressure. It is revealed, and we've been under the pump in every game. Every game has been a tough and a new experience for us, but the strength of character, the pride of playing for Scotland, and the pride that is building to play for each other in this team is something that we're working hard to galvanise, and we're seeing strong signs of that coming through. We've been shown clearly where the bar is for top 10 nation cricket. We want to be there. Our players have set their own goals in terms of that's where we want to be. We want to be amongst the top 10 in the world. So no better place to learn what's required to be there than at a World Cup. So we've seen where the bar is, and now we're starting to see also the team itself challenging each other to put in daily what's required to meet those standards.
It seems to me that despite the fact there have been no wins, you see this as a successful tournament for Scotland.
Absolutely. Look, we're gutted we didn't get a couple of wins so far, but we're also preparing to beat Australia. Why wouldn't we? We've got nothing to lose, but to go out and put our very best performance in the last day of this tournament for us, and we'd love nothing more than to beat the host nation. We had a couple of opportunities to bring home victory clearly against Afghanistan and Bangladesh. We weren't quite experienced enough or skilled enough or calm under pressure to bring those victories home. But the whole tournament has been a huge success, I believe, in terms of the experiences that we're banking away. In reality, we've played no one that's been ranked below us. So, we weren't supposed to beat anyone, and we came very close to beating two nations at this tournament. So, it's far from doom and gloom for me. As I said, I think the real benefits of this tournament are yet to be seen in the coming months and the way our players grow from these experiences.
Inspiring words from head coach Grant Bradburn. Gordon, we'll come straight to you. He's a relentlessly positive person. He's always looking forward, next challenge, next step, how to move up. It must be great to work around that.
Yeah, really enjoyed what he was saying there. I've met him a couple of times, and like you say, he's a very positive character, which is important in that environment. Like clearly pointed out there, it's been very challenging for the squad, but not doom and gloom. Just key positives to take from that, and with a man like that at the helm, you're always going to remain positive, I think.
Looking forward to tonight's match against Australia. They are undoubtedly one of the favourites for this competition, but as Grant rightly says, they're nothing to lose. So have Scotland? Can they keep their best to last?
Yeah, I hope so, because I think they've shown glimpses in every match that they can play good cricket. They've bowled well in phases, they've batted well in phases, but they just haven't quite got the consistency throughout 100 overs.
Is it like a round of golf where you've got to get the driving, the fairway shots, and the chipping and the putting right all at the same time? Never happens for me.
I think it is, and we spoke about to win against one of these top teams, you really need to get the basics right for 100 overs. And I think they'll really be setting their stall out against Australia to really get someone in the top order, to get a big score, get a couple of really big partnerships, and then do all the basics right with the ball and in the field, just to give themselves a chance.
Gordon, who have you identified in this Australian team that Scotland should be wary of?
There's about 11 of them, I think.
Yes, I was going to say.
They
pick one.
If they're bowling first,
pick one or
they
two.
Need to take wickets.
Yeah.
Simple as that. If they don't take wickets, they're under pressure. Greg Williamson was saying to me earlier on that Warner reckons he could maybe get 300 in this tournament at some point, personally. So, that's his mindset, and it just shows you how the game's changing, the way Australia view cricket at the moment. Maxwell comes in and gets 150 balls, so they have got serious depth in both departments.
Mitchell Stark's been impressive for me. He's a standout performer for me. Would you agree with?
Yeah,
can't disagree. You can't really disagree.
Definitely.
the evidence is the evidence is there to see, but he's been particularly impressive. I think. What's a good result? We were talking just off camera earlier on about this, and we were talking about, do you go for it or do you aim for respectability? What's a good result tonight for Scotland?
I hope they bat first and they get a good total on the board, and they get to the top four, get 70s, 80s, 100s, and then we cash in the last 10 and we get up to a good total and just put the Aussies under a bit of pressure, a couple of early wickets, and who knows.
Mm-hmm. Gordon?
If you want to be taken seriously, you can't look for respectability in my eyes, and that was the thing against Sri Lanka. They could have just batted away and got 270, 280 and made it look okay, but you've got to try and win these games.
It's what the Irish have been doing.
Yeah, and they've probably set the bar for this. Definitely set the bar for the associates. So you can't go and try to get respectability, or in the end, I think you just lose out. You've really got to go in there. They'll have talked about the game plans and what they want to do. like Dougie says, I think we've just got to get it right for 100 overs to see what happens.
Well, we shall see. Final thoughts from the guys in a minute, but now the moment of truth. The final team in the long hop bowl-off challenge. Please, would you give a very warm Clydesdale welcome to Pollock Cricket Club. Don't know who's running the music in this bar tonight. They've been noising up everyone on Twitter from week 1, questioning everything from team tactics to technique. There's a sample from today's Twitter feed. Ayr lose, 392,000 results. Not sure if that's referring to the cricket team or the football team. Will it be 392,001? Well, we'll find out if it was well-placed bravado or simply hubris. Roll VT.
Abby Pat here, right arm fast, in swing, watch out.
Naimi Kwa, right arm medium. Sakabamid, left arm around, slow. Malik, right arm medium, play for Pollock.
Sayyid Anjum Aslam, right arm over the wicket most of the time, and play for Pollock as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we bowled well, but we got none at the end. It's quite cold out here, so I guess we'll save the excuses when we go inside.
Yes, I think we bowled well, but we got none. It says it all. Well done, Pollock. Thanks very much for coming. The long wait, the long wait for a trophy continues, and for a win here at Titwood, I've been instructed to say by Colin Mitchell. Let's see what it does to the final leaderboard. So, Ayr Cricket Club are our rather unlikely winners with 4 points, right up there at the top since week 1. Stirling County second, BBC and Clydesdale sharing the spoils in third, and Hamilton and Pollock holding up the tail end with 0. Unfortunately, Ayr Cricket Club can't be with us tonight. They're at the Prestwick dinner. So they miss out on collecting this rather splendid little trophy, to which we've added a 4th stump to help Pollock out next time they come. We will, I assume, at some point get the trophy to Ayr, and when we do, we'll film it and we'll stick it up on the YouTube channel as well. So just a final thought from you guys. Gordon, we'll come to you first. We've asked over the last few weeks for the contributors to our crowdfunding and our guests to tell us who their player of the tournament is for Scotland. Who would yours be?
Well, as a bowler, I think I'm going to have to go with Josh. You know, to be second top wicket taker in the tournament so far, potentially go top after today. Tonight. You just never know, so I think I'm going to go with Josh, definitely.
Okay. Dougie?
Well, as an opening batsman, I'll say Kyle Kirkser. So no, I think after his 150 against Bangladesh, the first 100 in the World Cup from a Scotland player, and a 70 against England, and hopefully a few more tonight.
Okay, well, those votes have been added to those of our crowdfunding contributors, and I can tell you that the winner of the QTV Cricket Scotland Player of the tournament is Josh Davey. guys are obviously getting ready for their match, so we'll try and catch up with Josh after the game, and we'll get Nick to present him with his award, and that will be up on the Cricket Scotland TV YouTube channel later. Plenty of places, of course, for you to keep up with tonight's match. Sky Sports World Cup has live ball-by-ball coverage from 3:20 a.m. Bill Television. You can watch the STV highlights programme at 10:40 GMT on Saturday as well. Live scores and all the other Cricket World Cup news and results on icc-cricket.com, and of course all of that exclusive content from behind the scenes at the Scotland camp available at youtube.com/Cricket Scotland TV. That's it. That's the last show. We're done. I, for one, am absolutely exhausted. Please give a very big hand to our guests this evening, to Dougie Lockhart and to Gordon Drummond. Thanks to our Team of the Week, Pollock. And our Bowl-Off champions, Ayr, congratulations to them. Thanks also to our partners, DM Hall, to Prosperity Financial Solutions, HF Electrical and the University of West of Scotland. A big, big thank you to our hosts, Clydesdale, over the last 6 weeks. To everybody that has come here to the bar to watch the recordings of the show, most importantly to you at home for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please retweet the link tonight and do subscribe to the QTV Cricket YouTube channel, where there'll be more fantastic cricket coverage throughout the summer. In the meantime, remember to use the hashtag #FollowScotland and support the team tonight for the last time. Good luck, Scotland. From all of us here on the Long Hop, enjoy the rest of the tournament. Have a very good night.